Good morning and welcome, Songbirds, to another episode of Weekly Warm-Ups with Kerri on the live stream. So my name is Kerri Ho. I'm from the songbirdtree.com, where we get grounded, take flight, and sing. And as you all know, we do this every single week. It is a weekly time that we gather together all around the world and we warm up, we sing, we do different things. But today is a very special episode. It's a little bit different. It is episode 8 and it's actually a live tea time today. So we are talking about all things confidence for singers. Now, before we get into today's topic, I just want to remind you that if you haven't already gotten my free vocal warm-up guide ebook, you need to go and get that now. It's absolutely free. And you do, you do get to, learn 16 of my best vocal warm-ups for free. All right, I'm just going to say hello to some people. Hi, Bassett. Hello, Darren. Good morning, everyone from Canada. So cool. And I know Bassett's from Pakistan, so that's pretty amazing. Hello, Evelyn. Nice to see you today. Okay, so like I said, today's a little bit different. We are doing a tea time together talking about confidence. So if you haven't already, I'd like you to go and grab your favorite mug, all right, and fill it with a hot or a cold beverage, whatever you want, because we are going to have a relaxing time together with a great tea time. Now, before we get onto the tea time, which we're talking about confidence, I did want to actually share with you a pretty different type of warm-up today. I call this the wherever, whenever warm-up. Now, no, it's got nothing to do with Shakira, just letting you know. Okay, so what it is I want to show you a warm-up, Songbirds, where you can literally do wherever and whenever. You don't need a piano. You don't need any instrument, actually. You don't even need your device, like mobile phone or anything, to play any warm-ups or anything like that. You just need yourself and your voice wherever you are. So you could be hanging out in the driving around in your car. You could be just hanging out at home, washing the dishes, sitting on your couch, mowing the lawn. It doesn't matter. This is a wherever, whenever vocal warm-up, okay? And you don't need anything. You don't need any equipment. You just need yourself. So this can take anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. So it's a quick one as well. So it really helps you to wake up your voice. So this is a really good one to really start to think about, just really getting into the habit of always priming up your voice, but doing it in the most efficient, quick, and easy way, where you don't need any equipment, you don't need anyone else but you, okay? All right, so the first thing you want to do when you want to do the wherever and whenever vocal warm-up is you want to stretch your throat and tongue. You see, we get a lot of tension that builds up over the day in our throat and tongue, and so it's really important to actually give it a stretch, right? It's like when you wake up in the morning, you feel really stiff and you're like, oh, and you give yourself a stretch, you feel better. You need to do the same thing for your throat and tongue, okay? So here's what we're going to do. With the throat stretch, what we're going to do is we're going to sort of do a semi-yawn, and we're going to pretend like we're Santa Claus. We're just going to go, oh, 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 right? I want you to do it along with me, guys. Just come along, straight along with me. This is the wherever, whenever vocal warm-up. So just go, oh, 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 oh. And you really, what you're doing as you do that is you're opening up your larynx. You're actually lowering it down, making sure that it doesn't tighten, and, because that's what tends to happen when we sing with strain. Okay, so this is an amazing stretch for the throat. Let's do it again. Oh, oh, oh. There's a bit of a yawn. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, you should feel already that your throat's kind of opening up. All right, after that, you want to stretch your tongue specifically. How do we do that? I want you to lick your teeth. That sounds terrible, but it's very effective. So you just go like this. See how I'm just running my tongue all around the surface of my teeth, okay? Great way to stretch the tongue. Let's do that again. Around the other way. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, now the other tongue stretch I want to give you is that you're going to drop your jaw, okay, really floppy, and then you're going to stick your tongue out. This is going to look a bit gross. You're going to stick your tongue out, but you're going to drive it from the back of the tongue. So you're not just going to stick your tongue out with your tip. You're not going to go just like that. You're going to drive it from the very back. So it's a slow sticking out of the tongue, and you should really feel a great stretch in the base of the tongue. So let's try that. Okay, are you feeling that stretch in the base of your tongue? I really hope that you are. Okay, so yeah, so basically that is just the most amazing stretch for your tongue. You see, the base of our tongue gets really super tight. It gets so tight and we can't see it because it's actually right here in the throat, right? It's attached inside. So you really need to make sure that we get rid of that tension. So there you go. The first thing you want to do when you do your whenever vocal warm-up is you want to stretch your throat and your tongue. The next thing is you want to do some bubble sirens. So all that means is that you're going to do the bubble, which is right, but you're going to do it in a siren, which means you start from the very low part of your range and you go all the way through the high part of your range and back down. So you go like that, right? And you just do that several times over. And what this does is it stretches your vocal folds. It really gets them primed and ready. It makes them thinner. It makes them more flexible, getting you ready to sing wherever you like in your range, okay? So let's do that again together. Now, if you don't like doing the bubble, you can also substitute that for a so or a or a okay? Any of those particular siren sounds will actually help to stretch out your vocal folds, priming you for singing all over your range. So that's the second exercise. The third exercise you want to do to wake up your voice and to do your wherever, whenever vocal warm-up is to wake up the chest voice. And we do this by doing this. We go, ah! Okay, it's not a pretty exercise. It's not supposed to be, okay? So what you do is you basically open your mouth. You don't want to be too wide though. You don't want to be like, ah, and like get all tight again. You just want to kind of flop your mouth open, let your tongue be really fat in the mouth and just go, ah, ah. Okay, everybody with me now? Ah, ah. Okay, so if you just do that for a couple of minutes, that's really going to wake up your chest voice, okay? And then the very last one for our wherever, whenever vocal warm-up is to wake up the head voice and also your mixed voice, okay? And we're going to do this with a whoop, whoop, okay? And that's literally all you do. You're just going to say whoops at different pitches, but they're mostly high pitches. So come along with me. Whoop, 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 whoop. You know, things like that. So when you do that for like, say, 30 seconds or whatever, you've really lifted up the soft palate because that's actually what this exercise does. It lifts up your soft palate, opens up your throat so that your vocal folds can really vibrate freely to reach those high notes and to also get you in the mixed voice region as well. So there you go, guys. There you go. 4 really quick exercises that you can do literally wherever, whenever. So there are no excuses for saying that you didn't have time or didn't know how to warm up your voice, okay? This is super easy, all right? I'm just going to go and check and see how everybody is going. All right, so good to see people on show. You like my outfit, okay? I'm glad. Thank you. All right, here we go. So now that we've done the vocal warm-up, it is time for us to have a tea time together. So guys, do you have your mug or cup or whatever it is that you have with your favorite hot or cold beverage? Because it's time for us to talk about confidence. So guys, I want to tell you a story. Well, first of all, I want to know, is anybody out there, you know, do any of you actually feel, I guess, less than confident at times? Have you ever felt like you were not good enough? You know, you were not good enough to either sing or to do, I don't know, like, you know, something that you've always wanted to do. Has anybody ever felt that? Wavelin, I'm really glad that you like the whoops exercise. It's so cool. Hi, Lola Lewis. Really good to see you. Hey, Devin. Great to see you. All right. So, guys, yeah, so when it comes to, so Darren says, yes, for sure. Definitely has felt not confident before. And I'm sure, Darren, you're not the only one. Devin's already had 2 cups of tea. I'll do your third. There's never enough tea. You know, I always say tea is definitely, like, I'm absolutely addicted to tea. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Ellie has also felt not confident as well. Lola has also felt not confident as well. You know what? I reckon if we put a poll out and asked every single singer on the planet, do you ever not feel confident? I bet 100% of us are going to say, yes, I've felt that before. So I really want to talk about this because my passion is to help you feel confident. I want you to know that you are enough, that you have value, that you are loved, and that you are worthy to pursue your singing dream, okay? Now, let me tell you a story. You see, when I was a kid, I was super duper shy and timid. I know none of you will actually believe me because even I don't believe it when I look back on my life and when I look at who I am today. But when I was a kid, I was actually super fearful. It comes down to fear. I had no confidence in myself at all. I was the kid who sat at the back of the class when the teacher asked a question, you know, who knows the answer to whatever, I would never raise my hand, even if I had the answer, yeah? Because I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to show myself. I was very scared of being rejected. Anyway, so that was me as a kid in primary school. I got teased a lot. You know, I was different because I was Asian. I used to bring these exotic lunches to school and people would be like, what is she eating? Anyway, so you know, I was literally one of the scaredest, like the most timid, afraid kids that you will have ever met. And I know you find that surprising. It's because I've actually changed a lot and I've grown up. But back then I was very fearful. So anyway, but one day, okay, and this is not like a big turnaround story, but this did help me. So when I was in grade 6, which was like 11, I think I was 11 or 12 years old, the teachers actually announced that we were going to do a school play for the very first time. Hey kids, we're going to do school play. It's going to be this massive production, singing, dancing, acting. It's going to be awesome. All of your parents and friends and family can buy tickets and come and see you perform. And something rose on the inside of me. I wanted to be a part of that. You know, yes, this timid, scared, shy kid who never opened her mouth to speak wanted to get in front of a stage, on a stage in front of people and actually act. So I decided that I was going to audition. Like I was 11, you know, and despite how scared I felt, I just thought I really want to give this a go. Everything else in my life up until then I had said no to, right? Now I was like, I think it's time for me to say yes. I actually want to give this a go. So I took the script home and I knew auditions were happening the next day. And I read the script and there was this one character that really resonated with me. It was actually a boy character. His name was Arthur and he was a used car salesman. Don't ask me why it resonated with me, but at the time, I just loved Arthur. And I was like, I want to be Arthur. So I memorized this massive monologue. See, Arthur was one of the main characters in this play. I memorized the monologue and I was like, worked so hard all night. I just read it and read it and read it. I practiced it. I really became Arthur in my bedroom, and you know, and I was ready. I was like, I really want this part. Next day at auditions, all these other kids were being auditioned, and some people were being awarded parts right on the spot, and somebody else was given my part. Well, the part that I wanted, Arthur. So this other girl who had auditioned before me, and the teachers, without even having given me a chance to audition, had already put someone else, casted this other girl into the role of Arthur. And then it was my turn to audition. And they said to me, so Kerri, we've already casted the part of Arthur, so you don't need to audition for that. Why don't you audition for this other part? And it was like a lesser role. And when I say lesser role, I don't mean it was less important. I mean it wasn't a main character. And I really wanted to be one of the main characters. And I was silent for a little bit, and I was just sort of like wrestling in my mind. Do I tell them? Do I ask them for the opportunity to still audition for Arthur? Or do I just shrink back again like I always have and just let them give me a lesser part, you know? And I thought, no, I'm actually going to tell them that I worked really hard on this monologue and I want to show them. At least give me a chance to show you what I got. So that's what I did. I was just like, and at the time, you know, 2 teachers were auditioning us, Mr. Lay and Mrs. Holwell. I'll always remember this. And I just said, Mr. Lay, Miss Holwell, and I must have said it in a very timid way, but I said, I really, really want to show you the part of Arthur. I practiced all night. Can you please let me at least give it a go? And they were like gobsmacked. They were like, who's this? Who are you and what have you done with Kerri? Because they literally were so surprised that timid, scared, fearful Kerri was speaking up, finally speaking up and actually saying, you know, and they're like, okay, sure. Like, I think I shocked them so much that they actually let me audition. So I auditioned. And the story ends well. I actually got the part. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But I sometimes often think back to that and I think, what if I didn't? What if I didn't actually, speak up? What if I let them just give that part to someone else and just sort of shrink away and not given myself permission to shine? What would have happened? I would not have the story to tell you. That's for sure. That's one thing that would have happened. Yeah. And so when I think back on that story, right, I mean, from that time, 11, 12 years old, that really did help to boost my confidence. But I was still a very timid girl. Like, believe it or not, I probably didn't come out of my shell till I was about 18. But that's a story for another day. But, that was a really pivotal moment for me. And here's two things that I took away from that experience that I'd like to share with you today when it comes to confidence for singing. Number one, you have to give yourself permission. You have to. If you are not going to say yes to yourself, no one is going to say yes to you. You know what I mean? Do not wait for other people to give you a yes. Do not wait for someone else to tell you that you're good enough. Yeah? And I know in the entertainment industry, especially as singers, if we're going out and auditioning and we're writing music and we're putting it out there or we're performing, it's like we're always waiting for other people's feedback. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with taking on feedback. I don't mean let's be arrogant and not take people's feedback on. But what I mean is if you love to sing and you want to pursue a singing dream, you got to give yourself permission. You are the only one who can give yourself permission. Okay, so that's number one. I gave myself permission that day when I spoke up to my teachers and I said, no, please let me audition. Okay, and then the second thing is, not only do you have to give yourself permission, but the second thing is you need to work hard. I worked my little butt off the night before audition. I was only 11 years old. I had no idea what it meant to nail an audition. I'd never done one before. But all I knew was that I was going to show up and I was going to be ready to show them, that I could play Arthur the used car salesman. So I spent the whole night memorizing this monologue. I did it again and again and again and again and again and again. Look, let's just say I didn't do that, Maybe I didn't do that. Maybe I rocked up that day and I said, Mr. Lay and Mrs. Howell, please let me audition. But if I didn't do the preparation, I don't think I would have got the part. Do you know what I mean, guys? So it is two things that come together to really give us confidence as singers. Number one is that we need to embrace ourselves. We need to give ourselves permission. Number two, we've actually got to work hard. We've got to put in the work. We've got to be ready to put in the investment of time, energy, our passion, and sometimes even our finances, right? To really get to that level that we want to be. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I just thought I wanted to get a little bit vulnerable because it's a tea time with Kerri. I wanted you to actually know me a little bit more because I know that a lot of the time people just think I'm just this, I've always been so confident. I've always been, this sort of happy-go-lucky, bubbly person, but it's actually not true. I've actually grown into this. I have given myself permission to become who I really am. So that's my journey. Now, I actually have someone really special that I want to invite onto the live stream today. I'm going to tell you about her in a minute because I just think her story really encapsulates what we're talking about here today. But before I do that, I do want to have a look at what you guys were saying and really just to see how you resonated with the story. Darren, it is an absolute pleasure. I think it's important. It's an important thing to talk about. Thank you, Lola. I appreciate your support. That's it, Devin. They didn't know they needed me until I showed them. That is very true. So sometimes you've just got to give yourself that permission, Awesome. So Bassett, oh, cool. Chosen for Elsa. Oh, how amazing is that? Elsa. That is a really hard part. Good on you, Bassett. That's so good. Yeah, really, really so true and inspiring. I'm really glad that you found that inspiring. Darren says maybe my second calling is motivational. I really do see what I do as very motivational. I may not be officially a motivational coach, but I think singing is it's got to be motivational. Hey, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Now I want you to meet someone really special. So a few months ago, a songbird named Kathleen She's from the US. I'm from Australia, as I think you all know. She's from the US, and she emailed me wanting to have lessons. And since then, we've been working together on one-on-one lessons. She's also a Vocal Revolution program member. And Kathleen has inspired me to no end. So I'm just going to invite her onto the stream now. I want you to give her a big clap and a big round of applause in the chat, right? Welcome her. She's going to share with you how she's given herself permission and also how she's worked hard at her singing dream. All right, welcome, Kathleen.
Hi. Hi, Kerri. Hi, Songbird. So thrilled to be with you.
So good. Now, Kathleen, tell us a little bit about, what actually drove you to decide that you were going to pursue singing.
Well, it's I loved your story first, Kerri. I love the part where you gave yourself permission, not knowing what would happen. And I can really relate to that with my story. I started as a kid, always acting. And, in acting, often you are, as you were talking about, you are given permission by others. You're so funny, you're so talented, you should be an actress. And I pursued acting for many years and came to Los Angeles to pursue it as well, and was doing that for quite a while. When my son was born with multiple disabilities, including autism, my whole world just completely changed. Seemingly overnight, I became a 24/7 caregiver, and suddenly somebody else's life was my focus. So my ambitions, my goals, my dreams, everything just ended up going, on the shelf. And it was very, very hard in so many ways. But what it did do was give me the opportunity to say, okay, well, my dreams are on the shelf, but what really are my dreams? And what really makes me happy? And I really had to do some introspection and really look at that. And the dream of singing has always been there for me. But it was something that no one had given me permission to do. It was not even myself. It was something that other people did who were born with these incredible voices, and they just knew that when they were born, and that was for somebody else. But it was still an absolute dream. I mean, I admired people who could act well, but I admired way more people who could sing well. So after many years of caregiving and introspection, a new decade came, a new year, 2020, and I decided this is my year that I'm actually just going to give myself permission. And I was terrified, and it took a lot, but I gave myself permission. I just, like you in that moment, Kerri, where you just took that leap, I did too. And I took that leap because I said, I'm going to do this for myself. I know I have so much joy when I sing. It makes me so happy. So I'm going to give myself permission to admit that this is my dream, and admit that I really want to do this and I really want to be a good singer, and take the time that I need to take for myself to practice. And then also, very importantly, I had to give myself permission to stumble and make mistakes and quite likely make a fool of myself. And once I was able to give myself that and take that leap, I've been working with you, Kerri, and it has brought me so much happiness and so much joy and such purpose. And it has helped me in my life overall so much. And so I would say to any of you who are just sort of struggling with taking that leap, that you won't regret it. It is so worth it. And, one thing that is interesting to me is that you can't wait for the confidence which comes along with the permission, because once you give yourself that permission, the confidence does grow, and so does the joy.
Oh, that is so good, Kathleen. I mean, Darren said I should take motivation. I think you should. Oh, good. No, I love what you said, Kathleen, about you don't wait for confidence. So Songbirds, I really want you to take that away with you. Confidence isn't something that you wait until you have and then you go and do something. You really do need to make the leap before you feel confident, and then the confidence comes, right? Yeah. So tell us, Kathleen, a little bit more. So look, Emily is telling you, Kathleen, that your story is amazing and inspiring. How good is that? That's exactly why I invited you here. And Bassett's going, wow, multiple emojis. Yay.
Thank you, Bassett. Thank you.
It's always fun. All right. So tell us a little bit more, Kathleen, about, I guess, so for you've really had to make a lot of sacrifices in your life, because of the difficult situation you had with your son. So obviously you needed to put your creative dreams on the shelf for a very long time.
Yes.
And, for good reason, obviously. So when you came back to it with the singing, right, tell us, what has it given you, apart from, just having fun singing, whatever, like what has it, you said it actually gave you a lot in terms of your whole life.
Right. It really has.
What was it?
Coming back to doing something creative and developing it, a skill, a talent, a love, a dream, it's given me back that thrill that acting used to give me, but even more so in the way that with acting, of course, it was someone else's words, another character. This, singing is where you are more vulnerable and it's your instrument and it's you, but at the same time, it's more rewarding that way because you are able to sort of feel like you're going to be able to give to others. And I feel that it has just really kind of reignited the spark of creativity that I was looking for. I discovered that, some discipline as well in making myself carve out time to practice every day and to learn my songs. But it's also given me so much more curiosity about singing in general and about learning about singers and how to sing and the whole physiology of it and the psychology of it and all the things that go with it. And it's a whole world that has opened up to me that, is so much more than just, acting or singing. Or it's this whole beautiful creative field. And they're all intertwined, but singing is something very, very special. And there's something about, the actual exercise of it, of singing, that just, it must just really produce endorphins because there's something just so joyful about singing. So it has given me, actually some days it's my reason to get up.
Wow.
But it's really become a huge part of my life. And it's given me a lot of help.
Incredible. Songbird, if you're resonating with what Kathleen is saying right now, could you give us a bit of a happy emoji or a thumbs up or something? Do you agree with Kathleen? Is singing something that brings you so much joy? Is singing something that really just gives you creativity and awakens, different things that, just other things just don't do, thank you so much, Kathleen. That's been amazing. And I can hear from what you're saying also is that there's a discipline. So there's that second point of hard work, right? Like you gave yourself permission.
Exactly.
2020 was the year for you. And despite crazy stuff going on in the world right now, with coronavirus and all that stuff, you still snapped. That's not going to stop me. Here I am. I'm ready, right? Well done on that one. And then but there's also the discipline. So tell us, how long do you spend, what does it look like? What does discipline in singing look like to you? And I can see here already that people are so resonating with what you're saying, Kathleen. Everyone is
wonderful to see. I'm thrilled to see that.
Yeah, so good, so good. So tell us, Kathleen, just in the next 1 minute or so, what does it look like for you on a weekly basis to be disciplined and work hard with the singing dream?
Well, it's funny that it's discipline and yet it's my kind of fun too, because I enjoy it so much. But I make sure that I am ready for my lessons. I try to be physically ready with some warm-ups and some exercise. I exercise now a little more regularly to make sure that I've got good lung capacity. So it has really inspired me to do, take care of myself in other ways. So I make sure that I am ready and available for my lessons and take everything I can out of them. But also I try to minimum 20 minutes, 15 if I have to, even if I'm just driving, I'll just listen. But I make sure that every day I at least get my voice to move a little and revisit my lessons so that I'm getting the concepts. And it's really not that hard because, they're recorded and I can hear them. And I find that every time I hear my lessons again and do them again, I get something new out of it. So it's just really building on everything. But I do feel that because I'm, doing this for myself and I'm very invested in my success in this because I've waited so long to pursue this dream and it's so important to me that I, make sure that I do spend this time. But I also make sure that I'm disciplined to enjoy it still, make sure it's fun. Come on, why are you doing this? Because you love it instead of just get to the exercises. The reason I do it is because it brings me joy. So I make sure that that's, always in my focus as well.
So good. Like a big Sarah's asking you to come back to the show.
I'd love to.
And you know what? I think we might need to prepare for next time when you come back that you actually sing something because people are asking for it. But we won't have to do it today. I won't be that mean. But yeah, you're really inspiring everybody, Kathleen. So thank you so very much for coming to spend time with all of us songbirds from around the globe. It's been amazing to have you. I love having you as one of my students. You really do, brighten up my day because you're just so, just give yourself permission and you don't worry about failing. You just go for it. And you're very you just approach this whole thing with so much joy. I think for you it probably doesn't even feel like discipline because you just love it. You're just like, oh yeah,
I love it. Exactly. Right. It's my treat actually, but thank you everyone. And I say go for it and keep at it and take that leap and give yourself permission because nobody else will. It has to come from you.
So good. Thank you, Kathleen. Everybody, please give Kathleen a round of applause. We really love having Kathleen, and hopefully we'll have you back at some other point. See ya. All right, Songbird. So we're still unfinished. That was. I really hope that you found that encouraging. I'm sure you did it. And now it is live Q&A. Now I am ready to answer a couple of your questions on vocal technique, on anything to do with singing. At the same time, I'd also love your feedback. So for the live streams every week, are you enjoying them? What other topics would you like me to cover? What songs would you like us to sing together as a Songbird family? On these weekly live streams. So as you're typing in your questions for me, please also type in your feedback. That would be incredible. So it's looking like everybody has loved having Kathleen on the show. It's been really good. We've got some applause. That was so good. Excellent. All right, guys. So just waiting for your questions now. I'm more than happy to answer a couple of singing technique or anything to do with singing questions. But while you're doing that, let me just remind you real quick to go and subscribe to my website to get my free vocal warm-up guide ebook, 16 of my best vocal warm-ups to help you get your voice ready for the day and to build your voice. And also, you know what Kathleen was saying before, guys, about, she makes sure that she does something every day to kind of get her voice moving. Today's workout that I gave you, which was just the wherever, whenever warm-up, that is something that you can just get going anytime, anywhere. So it's so easy. You don't need a keyboard. You don't need a recording of any sort. So if that's all you can do that, okay? It just helps to really wake up your voice. All right, so let me have a look to see what questions we got. Here we go. Bassett is asking, how can we switch from chest to head voice without strain and cracks? This is a big question that every singer asks me about 1,000 times every day. And I get it. It is actually really hard to do when you don't have the proper training. Okay, so first of all, I do want to let you know that in a few weeks' time, I will actually be doing a vocal live stream, vocal warm-ups with Kerri that is exactly this topic. All right. So just make sure that you tune in for that and come when I actually do that warm up, okay? But okay, so just really quickly, in terms of switching from chest voice to head voice without strain and cracks, the first thing is that you don't want to be straining your chest voice. So if you're singing in chest voice and you're really straining, if you're going you are absolutely going to crack. There is absolutely no way to not crack into your head voice if you're already straining on your chest voice. So you cannot strain on your chest voice. So what do you do? How do you not strain on your chest voice? Well, you need to practice the throat stretch and the tongue stretch that I showed you at the beginning of the warm up today. And you also need to practice really singing in your chest voice without straining. So things like blah blah, like blah 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. That's a really good one. It helps you to go up in your range without straining. And so when you do that, you want to make sure that as you go higher, you get lazier. All right. So that's a really good one to start with, Bassett. And then that will really help you to not strain. But remember, I'm going to be doing a whole topic on this in a live stream real soon. So do really stay connected to really get the notification for that. Elise is asking, how can we get rid of vocal fry raspiness when singing? So just to explain what vocal fry is, it's like, right? So and that raspiness feeling. So it sounds at least like you might actually be singing on the throat. So you're not actually using your support mechanisms. One of the best ways to get rid of this is to actually make sure you do a yawn stretch before you sing. So you just go, it's like about to yawn, but you don't actually yawn. So in the sense of, you're not going to go, because obviously you don't want to be yawning when you're singing, but you might just do a pre-yawn. You might just go that, and you'll feel everything open up, and then you sing. That's going to really help to get rid of that vocal fry and raspiness, okay? I'm going to answer one more question before we go. Actually, two more. What would be the mindset while hitting high notes while singing? Oh, that is such a good question, Wadelin. So with this one, when we sing high, we tend to think, reach, oh my gosh, I'm going to try so hard, right? And then when you do that, you're absolutely going to crack. You're absolutely going to find it very difficult, right? So you need to have the opposite mindset. You need to be thinking down. You know, if you're singing high, you think, I'm going to come down on it. And the best way to change your mindset is to do something in your body. So if you want to think down, rather than just thinking down, why don't you actually bob down? Do a little bit of a lunge or a squat, or pretend you're throwing a tennis ball down or something like that. That's going to help you to change your mindset about singing high notes, to think that high notes downward rather than upward reaching. Okay, I hope that helped. Ken Clark is, this is an interesting question. Is yodeling a good warm-up? Yeah, I guess so in some ways, because yodeling forces you to sort of go in and out from chest voice to head voice. So I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, as long as it's not straining you and you're not, you know, but I would think that you probably need to be a bit warmer before you do that. But, you know, I'm not a professional yodeler, so I can't really comment very directly about that, but I would say that it would be pretty good if it feels comfortable for you, because it does force you to sort of switch really quickly between chest and head voice. All right, thank you for your questions, guys. And remember to you know, if you think of any topics and songs that you'd like me to cover in future live streams, just make sure you put it in the comments below. Next week's live stream is going to be a really, really good one. You don't want to miss this one. I'm going to have a special guest on the show, voice specialist and music teacher, Kathy Alexander from Singdactive, and we're going to be getting you performance ready, okay? So make sure that you tune in same time next week. I can't wait to see you there. So Songbirds, thank you so much for joining in on the live stream again today. And thank you if you're watching later. It is so amazing to have you here. I just love doing this because I love spending time with you. So remember, Songbirds, when it comes to confidence, give yourself permission and then be ready to work hard, okay? And remember, I am always believing in you. So Songbird, why don't you get out there, get grounded, take flight and sing. See you later, everybody. Bye. Okay.